National Energy and Climate Plan, the Forest Accounting Plan, and also the Forestry Code and subsequent legislation. As main data, let's say, we are discussing of, it's about 7 million hectares of forests around, as a round figure. It's about around 24 million tons of CO2 removal, and only in the living biomass around 21 million tons. Around 40% of the forests are protected inside Natura 2000 sites. And also now we are looking at the targets under the EU biodiversity strategy, which we need to accomplish as well. And forest and habitat forests have a very important role inside there. And also we are looking at the data on the heating and on the 3.5 million households using firewood for house heating, and the fact that out of the 58 million cubic meters that the forests actually enriches each year, meaning the increment, the harvest is around 20 million cubic meters, out of which around 7 million cubic meters are firewood, according to the forestry data, and around 15 million cubic meters according to the energy data. One of the gaps and the loopholes in the analysis turned out to be the data as all around the region, actually. And the alignment between the forestry data and the energy data that the statistics are collecting. So now I'm jumping specifically to these strategic documents that are on our table. And here the chart, if you see, actually, under the chapter with the supply on the forest biomass, it's actually the whole living biomass and the evolution during the years, which for sure is not the actual supply for the biomass for energy use. As well, need to be mentioned that for the power plants, we have a system of certification of origin also for agriculture and for forestry as well, but is not linked to LULUCF. And for electricity, especially the wood and firewood, it's very few used. The main use is in the heating and cooling sector, where it's around 90% of the total amount, and around 60% of the total renewable energy sources in the energy mix. The NSAP, it's saying something as just reminding about sustainability criteria and their need to exist, but on the other hand, there is nothing specifically. Just to point out that actually yesterday, the government put on the public debate the government ordinance transposing the RED II and also the sustainability criteria. But I don't know how it is in the other countries, but at least here, transposing meaning it's equal with copy-paste from the directive, unfortunately. And one of the main lack of the NSAP is the link of forest biomass, but also the agricultural biomass with the LULUCF sector and the biodiversity impact. And there is no disaggregated data on the electricity, heating, and transport sectors. and the biomass supplies by feedstocks and origin, which is one of the main missing chapter. And as well, we need to say that actually the households are envisaged also according to the National Recovery and Resilience Plans to go to natural gas to turn there and not to firewood, although the consumption of biomass in the final energy use is expected to increase by around 24%. But this data actually in the percentage were different from every version that actually the NSAP had. Finally, it was approved last autumn, but until then, like the energy strategy, it has a few versions available for public to look in, and again with different data and percentages assumed. And one big, probably, but not from environmental impact perspective, and again pointing out, is the turning to natural gas-based technology instead of traditional biomass use. One of the things that none of these strategic documents nor the energy strategy, it's saying it's about these data inconsistencies, which again, we need to know where we are starting from and so that we know where we are heading. The energy strategy, it's not approved yet. It went for a CIA procedure for an environmental impact assessment, but it's not there. It's a mistake. It's 2020, 2050, 2030 with a perspective for 2015. And there are some mentionings about the strengthening sustainability criteria to ensure habitat loss prevention and their degradation, and avoid their degradation. And of course, a greenhouse gas emission need to be more rigorous accounted. The energy strategy, and I do not want to read all the points in here. You can read it by yourself. Most probably the PDFs of the PowerPoint will be available for the audience. One major thing from the energy strategy is they do acknowledge, I mean, the elaborators of the energy strategy, meaning especially the Ministry of Energy, acknowledge the importance of the biomass, but do not say anything about the data. But it says there is an inconsistency between the data in the forestry, meaning the harvesting and the available forest feedstock, which is some, let's say, alert signal for all of us as well. And the progress report, again, highlighting the 60% actually contribution of firewood in the energy mix, and over 90% of the firewood in the heating and cooling sector. These are like the last data we do have. And here the discussion goes to the data. And in terms of what's coming next, we have, as said, as of tomorrow, let's say, trying to transpose the RED II decarbonization law that actually was approved as an emergency ordinance in this, like a few days ago, and it's also mentioning the phasing out coal by 2032, and hopefully a new energy law by next year, which our assumption, along with the national forestry strategy, and are among the indicators in the National Recovery and Resilience Plan. And the National Forestry Strategy as well is as an indicator under the Recovery and Resilience Plan, having a sustainability criteria for forestry biomass for energy use. So a revision, as for other countries as well, of the NSAP. And in terms of the national long-term strategy, it's, let's say, under work in the government, and it's not publicly available yet, any text of it. That would be like the very, very short story.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Antoanela.